What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with the president reveals UFC White House card. Randomly during a speech yesterday, Donald Trump revealed some huge news for UFC fans. Trump revealed that the White House will start hosting events with 25,000 people in attendance. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. One of those events will be a UFC championship fight in 2026 to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. Here's what Trump had to say.
I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great Dana White? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible...
With the huge news coming out, guess who decided to insert their name into the mix? If you guessed Conor McGregor, you were right. With the news dropping, Conor went on X and said this: "Happy 4th of July, USA. Excited with President Trump announcing a UFC fight event at the White House. I will be honored. Count me in." And then a fan asked Grok if the fight will happen, and Conor reacted to the interaction by leaking Instagram DMs with Dana White. McGregor left a voice message to Dana about being on the White House card, to which Dana reacted by saying, "I love it." Then, Conor went on to post an AI picture of him and Michael Chandler in front of the White House with the following caption: "The only place where disputes truly get settled, the White House." You already know Michael Chandler's super hyped this morning. Do you think McGregor will ever come back, or is he doing this for attention? Another UFC fighter that seemed interested was Terrence McKinney. He went on X and said, "Just heard Trump is going to have UFC fights at the White House, and I'd love to KO someone on the grounds of America's capital in the name of independence." Who would you like to see headline the White House? Let us know in the comments below. Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan go back and forth. Last night, Arman Tsarukyan took some shots at Ilia Topuria on X. He said, "Fun fact of the day, Ilia Topuria never fought anyone in their prime." Topuria then went on a press conference in Spain and said the following about Arman: "Tsarukyan is the easiest fight of them all. He's much easier than Paddy. I don't even know what to call him. Imagine having the opportunity to fight for the world title, and when the day comes, you pull out because your back hurts. I can't conceive of it. I can't even understand it. I would have fought without an arm. I don't care. You know what he did? My back hurts. I can't fight, man. Clearly, mentally, you aren't where you need to be." Would you be interested in seeing these two fight? Ilia Topuria not interested in Islam Makhachev fight if he loses to JDM. Before winning the lightweight belt this past weekend, Ilia Topuria expressed a desire to make the jump up to welterweight in pursuit of Islam Makhachev and a third title. Additionally, El Matador explained that if Makhachev defeats Jack Della Maddalena and wants to drop back down to 155 for a clash of champions, he'd be open to it. According to the newly minted champ's manager, however, if Makhachev loses to JDM, he'll have to get back in line at 155. During a recent interview with Canal Sportivi, Lucas Orzel explained, "He would have to win. We spoke with Ilia, and he told me, on what basis would he get that fight right anyway?" While plenty of fans were left disappointed by Makhachev's decision to move up to 170, Arman Tsarukyan understands the move. While speaking with ESPN's Brett Okamoto, he wished Makhachev well while leaving the door open to a potential fight in the future. "Islam deserves to be a two-weight champion. I'm just happy for him. I hope he's going to be a two-time champion. I'll become the 155-pound champ, and we can fight." If Makhachev does win gold at welterweight, then Daniel Cormier believes that a fight between him and Topuria could be just as big as Conor McGregor's fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov. During an appearance on Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo's Pound for Pound show this week, he weighed in.
"While I may not have the greatest relationship with Conor McGregor, partly because of Khabib and his relationship with Conor McGregor, I respect and appreciate him for being that guy for my brother Khabib. Because without Conor McGregor, Khabib doesn't go to the moon. Right? You need that guy. And I think Ilia Topuria and Islam might be that for each other. So while you may not like each other, you may need each other to go to the next level. So I appreciate Conor for helping Khabib achieve the life that he has today. Because before the Conor McGregor fight, he was great. We all loved him on the mixed martial arts level. Right after Conor McGregor, he was a global superstar.
Yeah.
Of course, we're still waiting on news regarding on when Makhachev will fight for the welterweight title. Tom Aspinall reveals he knows his next UFC fight. Tom Aspinall and the UFC wasted no time before figuring out the details of his next fight. In a sit-down interview with Adam Catterall, published on Thursday, Aspinall revealed that he has a date and an opponent. However, the champion did not give fans any sort of indication as to who he'll be facing. "Meetings have been done and now I have a fight. We've got a date, we've got an opponent to work towards. Everything's good, and I can finally get my career going again." Considering Tsarukyan teased news of his next fight last week, it might just be a matter of time before the UFC announces the bout. In the meantime, Aspinall has outlined a 4-fight plan that will allow him to beat every single fighter in the top 10 before the end of 2026.
Are you talking 3? Are you talking 4? In the next 12 months?
I'd like to do 4.
In the next 12 months?
I'd like to do 4, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how realistic that is because, see, the heavyweights are a little bit different. First of all, there's not as many of us, especially if you look at the top 10 now. I've beaten 6 of them now. My goal is to beat 10 at the top 10. I want to beat all 10. But it's a little bit different with the heavyweights because, first of all, there's not as many of us. Second of all, injuries happen a lot more with bigger guys. We're not as active as we are the smaller weights. But my goal is at least 3, maybe 4 between now and like the end of 26.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
If his next fight does in fact wind up being against Tsarukyan, Aspinall will just have to get through Jailton Almeida, Waldo Cortez Acosta, and the Black Beast, Derek Lewis. Tom Aspinall sends a huge warning to MMA community. Yesterday, during an episode of One on One with Adam Catterall, Tom Aspinall issued a huge warning to the MMA community about taking pictures of his kids without his consent. Tom went as far as saying that he will throw hands if it ever happens. Check this out.
If I'm with my children and you take a picture without my consent, there might be hands flying because I've been close to that a few times as well. Like we were talking before about the public stuff. Don't take pictures of my kids without consent. But that's a horrendous thing to do. I hate that. Come over and ask me for a picture. Even if I am with the kids, I'll probably say yeah. And if I don't, it's for good reason. So just putting that out there. But
Dustin Poirier reveals sad news on health heading into Islam Makhachev fight. Ahead of Dustin Poirier's final fight against Max Holloway, the former interim champion has revealed that he went into his UFC 302 fight against Islam Makhachev with 2 broken ribs. During a sit-down interview with the one and only Megan O'Leary for ESPN, the Diamond opened up on the situation, explaining that longtime teammate Mateusz Gamrot accidentally broke his ribs right before fight week. Despite his wife and ATT coach Mike Brown urging him to pull out of the fight, Poirier fought anyway.
My last fight, the Islam fight, I had 2 broken ribs going into the fight. And I knew it was going to be a wrestling grind. My wife wanted me to pull out of the fight. Mike Brown wanted me to pull out of the fight, but I couldn't. Yeah. Gamrot broke my ribs like right before fight week.
Damn it,
It was an accident. It was. What's crazy though, it was an arm bar. It was just my arm was pulled weird, and I did like a hitchhiker. I was trying to roll out, and then my ribs just popped. So it was a crazy accident.
With just over 2 weeks to go until his final fight, Poirier also opened up on his mindset heading into his trilogy bout with Max Holloway. I'm going to try my best to be in the moment on fight weekend just cause it's the last time I'm ever going to feel these morning jitters of fight day and walking into the arena. I'll never feel this again, so I want to put on a show. I want to go out with a bang, and I want it to be fight of the night, fight of the year. I'm expecting stitches. Of course, despite the fact that Poirier has remained adamant that this is his last dance, fight fans have continued to hold out hope that the former interim champion reconsiders and pursues a fight with Ilia Topuria. Khamzat Chimaev called Arman Tsarukyan to join him in DDP training camp. After coaching against one another and grappling against each other on the Russian version of Tough, Khamzat Chimaev actually reached out to Arman Tsarukyan to help him prepare for his upcoming fight against Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight title. While Tsarukyan had previously spoken about the situation and how he'll be able to help Chimaev prepare despite the difference in size, he went into more detail while speaking with ESPN's Brett Okamoto this week. He's supposed to come July 15th, but he called me 1 week ago. Bro, I'm coming June 30th. I said, bro, I'll be out in Thailand. He said, okay, I'm going to rest a couple days, and when you come back, we will start. But I saw a picture. He already started to train. He doesn't want to rest. Ahead of the UFC 319 card, Chimaev was praised by Ilia Topuria, who was quoted by Homa Fight as saying, "The man is a savage. He calls his shots. He finishes his opponents. When he goes inside the octagon, you know that guy goes for the finish. He's not looking for the decision. That's why I respect Khamzat. He's a beast." Currently, Chimaev is sitting as a slight betting favorite on most major US-based sportsbooks. Joshua Van fires back at Manel Kape for comment. Manel Kape was forced out of his flyweight title eliminator with Brandon Royval this past weekend, but according to a post made by Starboy on Saturday night, he would have no trouble dispatching of Royval and Joshua Van in the same night. In response to Kape's post, Van fired back in an interview with MMA Junkie. "Is that why you pulled out? He should be thanking me for saving him from that whooping he was about to get." Kape also gave his props to Royval the morning after the fight. On March 1st, I was scheduled to face Brandon Royval in a fight that would determine the next title challenger. Unfortunately, he had to pull out due to injury. The UFC gave me the option to wait, but I chose to keep going, just like I did in Australia, when Kai France pulled out, and I still accepted a fight against a newcomer. Once again, I took the risk, and thankfully it paid off. I've faced young, hungry, and dangerous fighters, and gave my best each time. Honestly, my last opponent was very tough and well-rounded, probably more dangerous than Van. Still, I truly respect Brandon Royval for stepping in. He didn't need to take this fight. He had a lot to lose and little to gain, but he showed courage by putting it all on the line. As I've said before, a brave man is one who takes risks, knowing the consequences. Big respect to you, Brandon. According to Joshua Van, he managed to make it out of Saturday's fight without breaking any bones in his foot, as he initially thought. With that in mind, he's hoping to throw down with Alexandre Pantoja for the flyweight title in December. When the two do collide, Van is sure that his confidence will be a major X factor. You've never fought Joshua Van. I'm a confident guy. A lot of people have fought him nervous. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm not going to let him play his game, so it's going to be a whole different fight, so I can't wait. With both Pantoja and Van down to fight in December, it might just be a matter of time before the UFC makes things official. UFC updates. Heading into an off weekend for the UFC, let's take a look at some UFC updates, starting with a back and forth between David Onama and Melquizael Costa. Costa called Onama out via social media on Thursday, leading to the streaking contender firing back, "I do whatever I want to this kid." While fans want to see Onama fight a ranked contender, considering the bad blood here, the UFC may look to book this fight. Next up, we got an update on Terrence McKinney following his big win over Vyacheslav Borshev this past weekend. During an appearance on the Fight Banana show, McKinney called out Jordan Levitt.
I want to fight like October. I just need 8 weeks because, like I said, I'm a lot bigger. I'm already almost 190 pounds already. As long as I got 8 weeks, I'll fight anyone. But I'm thinking I would like Jordan Levitt next. That'd be nice. And then if they give me Chase Hooper, like I said, I wouldn't mind that either. But like I said, it's not something I'll call out for.
Right.
Just because we train together. And, you know, I wouldn't want to do Washington like that. We're both succeeding.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of matchups at 155 we can do.
Levitt is fresh off a first-round win over Kurt Holloway back in May, meaning he and McKinney could very well be on the same timeline. And last but certainly not least in the way of UFC updates, the Hangman himself, Dan Hooker, has revealed that he's hoping to return in November when the UFC hits Madison Square Garden. Hooker spoke about his return, calling out Arman Tsarukyan. "I think I'll be good to go in October, November. Arman has been calling me out, and that's the #1 contender. No one likes the guy, so I'd just like to kick his teeth in." From the sounds of things, we're in store for some fun fights at 155 between now and the end of the year. A fighter pulls out of UFC 318 fight. Well, it looks like UFC 318 keeps taking a hit. Recently, we reported that Ikram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira was off the card after Ikram sustained a toe injury, but thankfully, they found a replacement for the fight. And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. Today, it was revealed that another fight is off the card. It was reported earlier today by Octagon Update, which was reposted by Marcel Dorf, who is a trusted source. Gunnar Nelson is out of his UFC 318 fight against Neil Magny. As of right now, there is no replacement for the fight, and with the card being 2 weeks away, we're sure that the UFC will be able to find someone as a replacement for Magny. Are you excited for UFC 318? Let us know in the comments below. Yesterday, we posted the whole John Jones situation with new leaked phone calls, but we went into more details about everything on our other channel. Click the video on the left to check it out.